Commissioner McRoy, Commissioner McRoy is the chair. How much of the conversation have you heard to this point? I just wanted to kind of bring you up to speed. What we want to do is, what I've asked is that our executive director talk about the progress we've made, um, updating our bylaws. I've asked her to talk a little bit about the three elements that we have left, and then lastly, what we intend to do at our next meeting.
This is Commissioner McRoy. Got it. I copy all. I just got on maybe 2 minutes ago, so I'm here.
Super, super. Executive Director, no.
Okay. Sorry, I was just chilling, and now I'm like, oh, now I gotta take notes. Okay, so hello, this is Executive Director Nell. I have emailed out a couple of times this week what I'm referring to as the clean draft of the bylaws. Which hopefully are now on the screen. Well, we get too many cursors. So this is what I'm referring to as the clean draft. Everything that's in this clean draft, we have discussed and voted on and approved to be in the bylaws over the last several months. The portions that have not been voted on, this I put it in highlight because honestly, I thought we would have a quorum earlier and we could just put this wording in and be done. This portion highlighted here on the screen right now, the duties of the vice secretary. This wording is exactly what's in the original bylaws, but this has not been voted on so far. I was assuming that we probably weren't going to make great changes to it and I was going to just copy paste it in, but we can definitely change it. The things that still need to do is one, the duties of the vice chair. Two, the issue of committees, how many to have, if to have, what they should be how they should be structured. That I would love for that to be a point of discussion. And then there is still nothing in our bylaws about reporting, any yearly reporting, any finance reporting. What does that look like? What is the cadence of that? Who does it? There is nothing currently in print that says anything about that. And so that's where we are. The rest of the bylaws are, I think, fine. More so than what I think is being fine is that they have been discussed and voted on by the commission over the last several months. So this is where we stand. We're just down to a few things.
Thank you. This is the chair. Thank you for that, Executive Director No. I would be interested in hearing from Commissioner McRoy about the vice chair role, the vice secretary role. How are we referring to that?
It says by statute, it's vice chairman / secretary.
Vice chairman / secretary. I'd love to hear from Commissioner McRoy any thoughts about any added duties or responsibilities. What are your thoughts?
This Commissioner McRoy. Is it by statute the way the vice chair / secretary is written? Can we not create a separate secretary position?
This is the chair. That's a good question.
What do you see on the screen?
I can see the statute. It's a little small for someone as chronologically gifted as me.
I'm just wondering if the statute says that, hey, the vice chair will be the secretary and we'd have to get the legislature to change that, or is that something we can just put into our bylaws? I do think the two roles should be separate.
I didn't get to 99A.
Yeah, this is the chair. I think that's a good thought, Commissioner McRoy. I like the idea of those being separate as well.
And additionally, this is Commissioner McRoy again. Additionally, I think that, the vice chair, it's understood that the vice chair should fill in when the chair isn't present. I think that's a pretty significant responsibility depending on what's going on with the chair. You just never know. And so I don't know if there needs to be more added to the vice chair role unless we're going to look at maybe the vice chair managing and keeping a pulse on committee work. But that's about it.
As the chair, those are good thoughts. Did you have a response to those, Executive Director Nell?
Here we go. Can you see the statute? It says here, this is the statute. The advisory commission shall organize annually by the election of its membership, a chairperson and a secretary. Statutorily, the only two things that are listed are a chairperson and a secretary. So there is not, statutorily, there is no position of vice chair. There is no position of treasurer. There is no position. Statutorily, it's only chairperson and secretary.
So this is Commissioner McRoy. So I'm assuming we can add to, but we can't take away from. Meaning we can't take away from the statute, but we can add a vice chair position through our bylaws, yes?
I believe that's what has happened, yes. But remember, we're rewriting the bylaws, so we could get rid of vice chair as a position.
This is the chair. I think he's referring to the statute.
Yes. Yes. That is correct.
I mean, I yield to others for dialogue. I mean, I can see both sides. I can see why we need a vice chair and where it would make sense. If the statute only accounts for a chair and a secretary, that can leave a gap. That's what I think. I yield back.
This is the chair. I kind of like those suggestions. Not sure if I want to move forward on this, though. I think we're still missing Commissioner Davis and Commissioner Westbrook. I would prefer to have, the full complement of our commissioners to have this discussion. Was there anything else, Executive Director Nell, in the work that we've done to this point that you feel like we need to do a quick review for Commissioners McRoy, Penn, and New?
No, I mean, perhaps this is Executive Director Nell. No, unless perhaps someone has a specific question. Okay. I mean, I would imagine that Commissioner Penn still has questions about how the reporting and financial reporting goes. I share her questions, and that's why I would love to get this codified in the bylaws. Okay.
What about
just to let you know, this is Commissioner Penn. I do have to jump back at 2:00.
I think we're good. We'll be done here soon. I think we're probably gonna cut early.
I think you're right. Is there anything else you want to talk about in terms of what we need to do yet?
No, unless perhaps everyone, since we're going to be adjourning here soon, ahead of the next month's meeting, think about how, come with some ideas about what potential wording might be for those two issues, committees and reporting. Between us, a lot of us have a lot of experiences on other boards and commissions and, areas of governmentship in your communities or in our jobs, to know what wording has worked in situations and what wording perhaps you've had experience with before. They're like, oh, that was just more confusing than it was helpful. So if we can come thinking, how can this be worded? And again, please keep in mind, we're writing this not for us. We're writing this for the next set of people who, if it's anything like how I got appointed, someone's going to just be put in the position and they're going to go have fun. Right? So for that group of people, how will they know what it should look like? So if you could just come with that ready, with suggestions of how it should look, not merely because I agree, it is not clear now. And discussions actually don't do the next set of people good, because we can discuss it, but we have to get it in paper.
Got you. This is the chair. I would also like to ask the commissioners who are here now, when we reconvene next month, try to arrive at the meeting with some thoughts also about how the organization might grow, about some other responsibilities that we might want to pursue, and try and think about how we function now versus how we ought to be functioning, so that we can bring some alignment, not just between how we're functioning and the bylaws, but how we're functioning in line with the statute as well. And that's really all I have. I'll entertain any questions that you have. If not, I would also entertain a move to adjourn.
I move that we adjourn today's meeting.
It's been moved. Do I have a second?
Jonathan McRoy seconds.
Been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Okay. Please signify by raising your hand or saying aye.
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 Opposed? None. Thank you for showing up today, and I'm looking forward to our discussions next month about I feel like we're doing really good work, trying to bring some professionalism to how we function. You're all to be commended for that, and I'm looking forward to all of your ideas next month. I'll see you then.
Right. Thanks for
Thanks,
your leadership.
everybody.